So let's talk about Solana. Solana is made an insane comeback. Like it is just bounced back in terms of their actual coin price itself. I had a chance to hang out with Toli, the founder and CEO, face to face a few weeks ago, and we jumped on another call a couple days ago. You know, the TLDR that I can share is that like they've been focused on network stability, which I think has been a big issue in the past, and they've made some big moves and strides forward there. And NFTs on Solana, the one key fact that he gave me, which was I was just kind of blown away by, was he said, you can mint 1 million NFTs on Solana for under $10,000 of quote unquote gas USD.
Maybe even much less than that. I think
maybe it was 10 million. I'm thinking about.
I think the cost to transact in batch, like with their state compression for NFTs, is, I mean, like I've seen things as cheap as like $1 or like $2 for a ridiculous sum of NFTs. So we should. I wonder if there's a stat we can pull up.
What he was showing me is he was showing me a website. We have it on here. It's I think there it is. Drip. Have you heard of Drip before?
Yeah. So we're actually an investor in
Drip.
So
sweet. So walk us through Drip, because he was telling me that Drip is for them is an example of Solana at scale.
It's very cool. So Ronan on my team is one of our youngest investors. Actually led this investment for Club Currency. So we'll get him on the show next time or at some point to talk a little bit about Drip. I can speak high level to what Drip is doing.
Yeah.
So Drip is using the architecture of Solana to allow creators to essentially create objects that get minted en masse to anybody who signs up. And so you can kind of think it's less, you can look at the exchange profile for some of these objects that are getting minted hundreds of thousands at a time, and they're not really selling for very much. There's like $1,000 in volume, maybe for like the top collection on a weekly basis. That's not really the point. They're using the NFT wrapper, the scarcity wrapper, to essentially wrap around content that happens to be today. It can look like the digital art piece. It could look like a digital song. It could look like a newsletter. And when you start to see the NFT file format get used for in an expression that looks totally different than just pure economics, pure collecting, pure storing value in these things, you can start to wield that wrapper into ways that can unlock new types of consumer products. So the types of creators that may end up migrating to something like a Drip can be much more expansive than just someone who's creating crypto art.
Right.
And that's kind of the power of Drip House. They've got, I think they're minting millions of these digital objects.
Yeah, they've done over 80 million. Maybe that's the stat he was giving me, was around how many they had minted and the cost to mint it.
And the cost to mint is like pennies.
Yeah.
Pennies on the dollar.
Maybe that's what it was, 10K for 80 million or something.
He
said 10,000 for some insane amount.
It's pretty staggering. And I think what Drip House is really getting at the edge of is, how can the NFT, this file format, be used for products and I kind of wrote about this in my piece this year. How can it start being put towards that other end of the spectrum, this product and service side of the spectrum, where on net these things are much less valuable, maybe 50 cents, 25 cents, 1 cent, $5, but in the aggregate can unlock new types of product and service value that we've never had on chain. So that's the power of Drip House and kind of what's going on here.
Yeah, and they've had some other breakout collections. Mad Labs, I know, Sam, you posted about this. It's up 10x since from September 1st, and up 4x from just a few months ago. That's been kind of one of their big anchor, PFP projects.
Yeah, you kind of have this. There's kind of this myth at times that that ETH going up is bad for NFT prices. And there are definitely paradigms where that's true. But what's kind of interesting here is you're seeing Solana, Solana's gone from, call it, $15 to $60. And then on the back of that, that's renewed interest in the ecosystem. And with renewed interest in the ecosystem, you're seeing people say, actually, now I want to own NFTs. So you're kind of having this double benefit of Sol rising and the NFTs rising. Yeah, Mad Lads, there's a project called Backpack, which I believe kind of is something like, I don't know all the details of it, but it kind of combines NFTs with individual wallets. But the team that is making that created Mad Lads, and it's been their project. And I just think this is ever since DeGods left Solana, there hasn't really been a big project on Solana, and Mad Lads filled the shoes of that and more. I mean, one of the interesting things is now Mad Lads are worth more than DeGods, and it really kind of makes you wonder if Frank made the right choice by moving to Ethereum. But yeah, it's the kind of the replacement big kind of Trojan horse, like big player NFT for the Solana ecosystem is now worth 5 ETH and one of the top 5 or 6 PFPs across chain. So interesting to watch, certainly as a loyal community that's excited about what they're doing.
It's fascinating to think about that, Sam, because like you're talking about basically, you can be a small fish in a big pond on Ethereum, or you can just go and to Solana, where if you're like one of the only games in town, and you attract the Solana diehards, like that's pretty powerful. And then when there's that renewed interest in Solana, more diehards come in, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, well, what's my PFP here? It's fun to watch.
Yeah, one of my views on that is I just think I think all the negative energy that Frank got after their art came out for season 3 and the floor went from 8 to 3, I just don't think that would have happened on Solana. I think here there's so many different, we have so many different ecosystems here that are so critical of what they're not. Obviously, you had a dynamic on Blur that made it very hard to kind of stay high once a whole lot got dumped. But regardless, this desire that I see sometimes in the ETH ecosystem for NFTs to take each other down, or for projects to take each other down, or even for people who really love digital art to take down PFPs and similar things. I just think in Solana, now everyone's rallying behind Mad Lads because that's the one horse. You have a couple others, Clanosaurus or other stuff, but nothing really of this kind of caliber. And the whole community backs it. And that's what Frank had when he was in Solana.
Yeah, in Solana, just to give people a sense of overall size of the NFT market, I believe, and Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the entire market cap for Solana NFTs is about 5% of ETH's NFT market cap, which is relatively small. Yeah. So there's a lot of room to grow here.
For sure. Yeah, it'd be interesting because they've done it before. So it'd be interesting. They had a huge 2022. Solana has been big already. This isn't like the new kid on the block. It's kind of the resurgence of someone that was huge.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. It's fun to watch this Solana mature over time, and I'm very. It's nice to see they haven't had any big incidents in a while. They've been stable. They've put a lot of time and effort into fixing that. That was the big thing with Solana, where it's like you almost start the clock and you're like, okay, count down 3 months, and then all of a sudden there's a network outage for like a half day or something, But anybody chatting in the old Discord about Solana? People bullish, or what do they think?
Don't worry about them. But I was just thinking about our market talk yesterday. Sam, you and I kind of talked about it a little bit too, and I think that there is something kind of interesting about on the art side for Solana, especially generative art. I remember War Daddy put me on to Code Canvas, and they're doing a lot of generative art there. Mm-hmm. There's a Studio Yorktown one, there was a Herzog one, and a couple other ones too. So they're doing a lot of really cool things. I think there is something to be said about the cheap minting costs. That's clearly why a lot of people are moving to L2s. I think Solana might have its day and really kind of come back. I know I'm going to check out some of the Solana stuff in Miami next week because I know that they have a huge presence there on the art side. One of the artists that I just collected is going to do something crazy. I want to go check that out. So I think that they're really putting a lot of effort into trying to attract artists.
100%.
Maybe the Tez killer, maybe, that could be interesting. Right?
I don't think that
Tez is already dead.
No, Tez is not dead. Do not hit on Tez.
Sorry.
You heard it here first, folks.
The coin I meant, not the platform. We love FX Hash, by the way. We love them.
One of the reasons I was chatting with Totally and Raj over there is that at Solana was because they are very keen to figure out how they can push NFTs forward on Solana. It's a big kind of mandate for them, and they're taking it very seriously. So it's nice to see. I mean, the full-on CEO and founder was like, what can we do? How can we learn? How can we build this into a bigger thing?
Yeah.
And it's so that's nice to see.